If you're thinking about starting a virtual assistant business in 2026, hold up. Because the truth is, if you do it the old way, you're setting yourself up to struggle. I know you're probably wondering, is the VA market too saturated? Is it even worth starting right now? Or maybe you're asking, what do I actually need to know before I dive in? Those are really good questions to be asking because the truth is, the VA market has completely changed. A few years ago, you could offer general administrative services, just post in a few Facebook groups, and pretty much find clients fairly easily. Now, that exact strategy is what's keeping most beginners stuck at zero. And here's the thing, it's not that the VA market is oversaturated, it's that your strategy is outdated. And I know this because I've worked with over 7,000 virtual assistants, helping them to launch and grow their own businesses from scratch. And I've seen what works and what doesn't. So in this video, I'm going to be sharing with you 4 shifts that you absolutely must make if you're going to be starting or growing a virtual assistant business in 2026 and actually want to get clients. We're going to cover what's changed in the VA market and how to adapt, the biggest mistake I see new virtual assistants making, my proven 4C method for standing out in 2026, and the secret that the top 1% of virtual assistants are using to stay fully booked. Let's dive in. I first started my virtual assistant business back in 2015, and it was a really different world at that point. I chose a few general administration services like data entry, scheduling social media posts, and I went to a couple of networking groups. And because virtual assistants was such a novel concept, I was able to get clients very easily. People thought, oh, you're a virtual assistant? First of all, what is a virtual assistant? And as soon as I told them, their eyes lit up and they said, I have to have that. But over the past 10 years and really working closely with our students, we're seeing that the same strategies that used to work are no longer working. You can't just say, I'm a virtual assistant, post on your Facebook group or go to one networking event and instantly think that you're going to be booked full of clients. It just doesn't work like that anymore. But luckily, I'm about to share with you in this video the strategy that is guaranteed to make you stand out. By the way, I'm Abbey Ashley, founder of The Virtual Savvy. I talk all things work from home and building your freedom life on this channel, so make sure you subscribe and click the bell to be notified every time I release new content. Here is the wake-up call that most new virtual assistants need. Most of us think that, man, I'm not skilled enough. I need to have some kind of really fancy service. I need to get some kind of certification to get started. I have to be a Pinterest manager, or I have to be a YouTube editor, or I have to offer really high-level executive assistant services. And while there is truth to choosing a niche and having higher-level services, most of us are completely focused on the wrong thing. The problem isn't your services. The problem is your focus. There's one thing that I want you to stop right now and say to yourself, it's not about me. 10 years ago, when virtual assistants was a more novel concept, you could just say I'm a VA and instantly people would hire you. But now people want to know that you are going to relieve their pain points. So when I say it's not about you, what that means is that we have to make our focus about the clients. So you might be selling, I offer general admin services, but what the small business owner needs to hear is I give you your time back. You might say I'm a Pinterest manager, but what the small business owner or that blogger needs to hear is I help drive more traffic to your website. You might offer simple bookkeeping services, but what that small business owner needs to hear is I help put more money back into your pocket. See, the thing is, it's not about offering Pinterest management, even a simple service like inbox management. Don't say I offer 10 hours of admin services. Say, I help clear the clutter from your inbox so that stress level can finally come off your shoulders and you can focus on doing what you love. Do you see the difference in perspective here? So you might be thinking, okay, Abbey, I get this, but how do I actually make that transition? How do I go from selling tasks to solving problems? Well, the way we do it is with the 4C method. It's a complete shift in mindset. The first C stands for clarity. You have to have complete and utter clarity around the problem that you're solving for your ideal client. You will discover your niche once you just start working with actual clients. So what I'm not saying when I say have clarity is that you need to have a niche necessarily. What I mean by clarity is that you have to have clarity around the problem that you're solving. And you have to actually position yourself as the problem solver, not just another bill that's going to show up in their inbox. I really love the way that one of our students, Sadie Prestridge, did this on her website. You can see that she didn't really talk about her in the beginning. It's not about her. It's about the client. You deserve to have a business that allows you to stay in your zone of genius. See, she is tapping into their desires. I'm ready for support. That's the language that they would use, right? So this is what we're looking for in your marketing materials. So how do you actually implement this? Well, it's all about your marketing and your messaging. So take a look at your portfolio. Look at what you're putting on socials. Take a look at your website if you have one. And even in your discovery calls, if you have slides that you use during your discovery calls, you can weave this messaging into your offers, into what you're putting out into the world. And that's really going to make a huge difference in your positioning. But let's get this straight. Clarity alone is not going to get you a booked out virtual assistant business. If nobody knows who you are, it doesn't matter how clear your message is. So that brings me to the second C in the 4C method, connection. Gone are the days when you can simply make a post on your Facebook page and instantly get clients. Marketing is all about connection. I love the way that Scott Stratton, the author of Unmarketing, says it. If you believe a business is built on relationships, make building them your business. You might have thought that you were in the business of virtual assistants, but you are in the business of connection, the business of relationships. So what does that practically mean? It means that you can't just sit around and wait for clients to find you. You have to actually go and start building real relationships with people. It means that putting your website live doesn't instantly mean that you're going to get a flood of clients. Your next client is probably in a Facebook group asking for help. And if you come in and you help them in a really genuine way, putting value first, that's where real connection, when you're just helping another person through relationship, is going to happen. Your next client is probably in a network meeting waiting to actually shake your hand and have a real conversation, waiting for you to follow up 2 or 3 times, maybe even have a coffee chat with them. This is the power of true connection. And this is where your clients are going to come from. I remember being a new virtual assistant, and I actually couldn't at that point afford to go to some of these really big conferences. Tickets themselves were thousands of dollars, let alone being a sponsor, setting up a booth. Like, I just did not have that kind of money. So what I decided to do is I actually found out where some of the after parties were. So yes, I was going just into restaurants or even like a bar, and I was wearing a shirt that said virtual assistants is my jam. And I knew that people, small business owners, would be at this conference. And so I had something to strike up conversation, and I just focused on building relationships. One of the individuals that I met was a big time blogger who said, "Tell me about your shirt." So we started talking, and he has actually made me tens of thousands of dollars through that one simple connection. So sometimes we have to think outside the box. So how can you actually connect with people? Well, you can do so through personal outreach. This means actually sending emails to your friends and family when you're just getting started. Yes, posting on your Facebook group, but starting real conversations with small business owners that you already know, or even to your friends and family who are then going to tell their small business owner friends about you. In fact, I have a free template that you can use that helped me get one of my very first clients. And I have shared this with thousands of other virtual assistants to get their first client as well. It's the personal outreach template. You can go to thevirtualsavvy.com/template to snag it. Next, networking events and conferences. You can literally go on Facebook or a website like Eventbrite and find local networking events or potential conferences that are happening in your area filled with small business owners. If you have bought a course or you're in some online communities, make sure that you are interacting in those communities, that you're building true relationships. Facebook groups. Facebook groups can be a gold mine for finding clients. Not only do we post jobs in my free Facebook group, I will link to it below, but you can use Facebook groups to build connections, to be helpful, and to look for clients. And then lastly, social media conversations. Now, note that I didn't say building a massive social media following, because that's honestly not really the goal here, especially if you're just getting started. What we're looking for is conversation marketing. So yes, follow your favorite business owner, but then comment on their posts. Actually send them a DM and try to strike up a conversation with them. Provide value. If something isn't working on their website, let them know. These are the kind of conversations that you can have on Instagram, that you can be having on LinkedIn, and they really make a difference when you're focusing on true connection and being helpful. So this is how you're going to start building momentum in your marketing. But if you don't have the third C, it's all going to collapse. The third C is consistency. You can't expect to do this for 1 week and expect that your business is just going to blow up. In fact, business is all about just continuing to show up, even when it's hard, even when it's not easy. Now, one thing that you can do in order to make consistency easier is to develop systems. I'm not telling you that you need to be spending 8 hours, 10 hours a day trying to build relationships, right? Create a system, create a schedule. Maybe you have 1 hour of dedicated marketing time a day. And in that marketing time, you have a bulleted list of things you're going to be doing. You're going to be helping people in Facebook groups. You're going to be looking for new communities. You're going to be looking for upcoming events in your area, networking groups. You're going to be sending out the personal outreach template that I mentioned earlier. You have a dedicated list of things you're going to do during that marketing time. So create a system to make it easier, to make it to where you can be more consistent. I cannot overemphasize how important follow up is. I see so many virtual assistants truly miss out on good opportunities simply because they didn't follow up. We're so scared of being annoying, of being rejected, if we're being honest with ourselves, that we don't actually continue to reach out, especially if you have met someone at a marketing event and they are excited to talk to you, especially if you have applied for a job, you've put your portfolio in the ring. Don't just send one email. Continue to follow up. Remember, the business owners who really need you are really, really busy. I am a really, really busy business owner. And to be honest, sometimes I don't email back after the very first email. It's not that I delete it. It's not that I'm ignoring it. It's that it's sitting there and I'm going, oh yes, I'm going to get back to that, right? And so sometimes when somebody emails me 2 or 3 or 4 times, I go, okay, yes, I'm finally going to do this because it does matter to me. I have just set it to the side. And so I want us to adopt that mentality, that follow up. And I've been asked the question, how much follow-up is too much? That's really up to you. You could literally follow up 20 times. You could say until they tell me no, until they actually reject me. Or maybe you have a more conservative, okay, I will do 7 follow-ups and that is my number. You can choose, but make sure that you are following up to the point where it gets a little uncomfortable. I want to make one more note when it comes to being consistent in your business. So many of us try one thing. We try a marketing tactic. We go to a networking event or we post in a Facebook group and it doesn't really work, right? It doesn't work. We don't get a client from that one thing that we did. And so we completely scrap it or we say, I'm not good at this. This wasn't a good idea. Maybe virtual assistance isn't a good idea. We approach business like a judge, like this is good or bad or right or wrong. And I'm just going to put this over here because it didn't work, right? What I would like to challenge you to do is to approach business like a scientist. A scientist makes a hypothesis. I wonder if going to this networking event would result in clients, right? And so you try it and maybe it's terrible. Maybe it's the worst, but that doesn't mean that the entire business is bad or that all marketing events or all networking events are bad, right? It just means that that one wasn't great. You didn't love it. So let's try a new hypothesis. Let's treat our business like a scientist and we will experiment. And when we really just embrace that experimentation mindset, it can change everything, especially when it comes to your consistency in your business. You're going to keep showing up even when it quote unquote fails, because it was just a test and we're going to have a new hypothesis and test something again tomorrow. All right, we have covered the first 3 C's in the 4C method. It is time for the 4th and final C, and this is the difference between the virtual assistants who make it and the ones who burn out. It is a focus on clients. Once you actually get that client, I cannot emphasize how important it is to serve them well. And here is why. It's the secret that successful VAs really know. Your number one source of new clients is going to be referrals. If you ask any virtual assistant who has been in business for 5, 10, 15 years, where do they get most of their clients? It's referrals. Now, yes, it takes some time to build a referral market. You have to have an original client base. But once you get that first client, serve them well. Really, really make serving them and doing your best work for them, over communicating to them, make it such a game changer working with you that they have to tell their friends. Now, there are some simple things that you can do to really expand your client base through referrals. We have this referral email that I'm going to pop up on the screen. This is one simple way that you can literally just ask your current clients if they have any referrals for you. Here's how it goes. Hi, I just wanted to say how much I thoroughly enjoyed working on whatever project, or how much I've enjoyed working together over the past 30 days. It's really been awesome to get to know you and know that anyone that I encounter someone who mention their service, who needs health coaching, who, needs cleaning tips, you are my go-to person. Please reach out anytime that you need assistance with blank, whatever you've been helping them with. I'm happy to help you in any way possible. Similarly, if anyone in your circle is in need of a virtual assistant, a Pinterest manager, whatever you are, and you think that we would be a good fit together, I would love to chat with them. I'm putting together my client calendar for the next few months. And if any referral you send my way was as awesome as you are, I would be one happy person. Is there anyone who comes to mind? Make sure you ask that question. Oh, also remember that I do offer an incentive for any referrals and successful leads that come my way. Thanks again for everything. You're the best. Let's do this. If you have a current client as a virtual assistant, and you are going to commit to sending this email out today, let me know in the comments, because I am all about helping you take bold action for big transformation. Now, you probably clicked on this video wondering, should I really start a virtual assistant business? Is the VA market too saturated? The answer is yes, you should start a business. No, it's not too crowded, but you have to do things in a smart way. And the smart way is the 4C method that we covered today. Now, if you are newer in your journey, you're probably still feeling hesitant about the services that you should be offering in your business. And if that's the case, I want you to check out this video I have right over here. It's all about how to choose your virtual assistant services so that you can stand out even further. You don't want to miss it. Literally, this is your next step. And remember, you don't need permission. You just need a plan. I'll see you in the next video.